Did you miss a calling when you were younger? Should you have been a vaudeville song and dance man or something in an earlier life?
Yeah, I'm old enough to have been in vaudeville, I guess. But I don't know that the penguin dance would have worked in all the vaudeville honky tonks. Not sure. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the Cavs roll. The Rockies do not rock, and PK Subban joins us for 5 good minutes. But we begin today with Golden State beating Houston last night behind a big fourth quarter by Jimmy Butler, who had 14 of his 27 points in the fourth. The Warriors have now taken a 3-1 lead in this series against 2 seed in the West. Wilbon, you were there. What stood out to you most about last night's result?
Tony, is sort of the difference of the teams physically. You start with that. I start with it. I can't get over it. How the Houston Rockets are just young. They're like not acrobats, like trapeze artists. They're just flying around the court. They can get to the basket at will almost whenever they want to. They did it 7 possessions in a row to wipe out a deficit and get the lead late in the game. And yet, the Warriors just keep going about their business. And Houston ultimately does not know yet enough or know how to beat a team. We make a lot of physical attributes when we talk about sports, even the greatest of teams, when it's the intellectual attributes that usually set them apart. And so with Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler to start it, and Steve Kerr, they just know how to do what they do. And so Draymond Green, after the game, even took me through sort of how he has to guard much larger players, 6'10", 6'11 guys at 6'5", and how he does this. And even though just the know-how, the Warriors are just a treasure trove of, okay, here's what we have to do in the moment to win this game, even though they are like drones. They are flying all around the arena, the Rockets, and they do it. And even with that, it's a physical play. Jimmy Butler, who can barely move for 3 quarters, figured out how to get himself some motion in the fourth, and he goes up above everybody like Wilt to grab the important rebound of the game, and then afterward, couldn't even walk. And you're like, my goodness, this is a championship team. Houston doesn't know enough. They may get there one day soon, but they're not there yet.
I don't want to disagree with anything you said. I want to go in a different direction, Mike. I am conflicted, and I'm conflicted over Jimmy Butler. I realize that Jimmy Butler is a great player. You don't call someone playoff Jimmy for nothing. He gets to the line more than anybody. He wins games. I appreciate that Jimmy Butler wins games. But I really think that he left the Heat for dead. I mean, he just walked out on a team that he had played for years. His rampant egomania and his selfishness, it crippled that team. So I can't bring myself to root for Jimmy Butler, though I think he's a great player, and I like to root for the Warriors. I don't know what to do here, because I can see, look, they're 27-9 since they got him. He has made all the difference in the world. But I don't want to condone, Mike, the way that he got there. And you're totally right about Houston. Houston and Detroit are going to be great teams at some point. That their time isn't now. Oklahoma City's time is now. They did this before Houston and Detroit. So that's my conflict.
Let me just say this about Jimmy. Let me say this about Jimmy Butler. All leagues are full of teams, management, who get rid of players all the time. They run them out. And so I'm not going to have any angst because Jimmy Butler said, oh, no, I want to leave. Teams have spent 150 years in American sports throwing players the hell off of teams despite whatever promises they made. And so Jimmy Butler got the best of this one. I'm fine with that. I don't have your angst. And I do root for the Warriors, and I root for the Warriors because of those 4 guys I named earlier, and I marvel that they are together now and doing what they do. I do it. I hope they keep winning. And Butler's one of my favorite players ever, ever, and today. So we're on the opposite side of that train.
I'm on.
Let's move to the Cavs and their very cavalier sweep of the Heat. Cleveland beat Miami in Miami by 55. And the Cavs were playing without all-star point guard Darius Garland. The Bam Adebayo of the Heat said after the game, quote, there's going to be a lot of changes this summer, understanding how the guy with the silver hair works, close quote. Tony, you know the guy with the silver hair. You know him and who he is. Does this series tell you more about the Cavs or his Heat?
So here I am again. Cleveland is a wonderful team. They may very well be a championship team. They manhandled Miami in this. Now, Mike, you know that I believe that a 1 seed should always sweep a play-in 8, which is exactly what they did, right? But my heart goes out to Miami, and it's about Jimmy Butler, who left them for dead on the side of the road. They had no chance. They had no chance last night at all. I watched that game until I couldn't stand it anymore. It's 35-8 in the first quarter, Mike. 35-8. They, it's a brutal watch at that point. Is Miami a better team than that? With Jimmy Butler, they're a much better team than that. With Jimmy Butler a couple of years ago, they made the NBA Finals, and it's essentially the same team that's out there now. So do I think that Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra don't know what they're doing? Come on. Of course they know what they're doing, but that was a brutal watch last night, and maybe changes have to be made. I just think that at the core of it is Jimmy Butler walking out on him. I do.
Tony, I'm going to go back to the Pat Riley part of this because I got this great text last night, like us, and I'm in the Warriors game, but I'm watching this at 30. That's just the score you named. And I'm like, what is going on here? Tony, players from the other teams are like, whoa. And a large part of that is because Miami, people look at Miami and marvel at them often, admire them often, fear them sometimes, respect them all the time because of Pat Riley. Yes, Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra and the crew, but Pat Riley. And the great Bob Ryan texted me during this, and Ryan, of course, has been following Pat Riley for Pat Riley's whole life in basketball, which is, almost 60 years. And Ryan's text said, how does Pat Riley feel about watching his team get trumped by 37 and then 55 points? And so to me, we'll get to Cleveland. You're right, and I'll give you credit because all year you've been saying Cleveland, pay more attention. And I've been saying, I don't know. But Tony, I'm wondering, what is Miami going to do? Because Pat Riley doesn't take these things. So now, you love Pat Riley. I know how much you respect him as an executive, as a coach before that. Like, what is he going to do next?
Miami just lost at home by 37 and 55. That's never happened before. Yeah. Miami was swept by a total of 122 points. That has never happened before. They were down last night by 60. You want to buy a ticket to that? Let's move to baseball. The Colorado Rockies lost again last night.